Hey, it's Tesh from Turnbuckle Times, and in this video, the 10 most evil things Jake the Snake Roberts ever did in wrestling. Now, heels are expected to behave terribly, but Jake the Snake Roberts took things to a whole other level with some of his actions. Roberts was a star in the 1980s and 1990s in WWE, but his well-documented personal issues unfortunately derailed what should have been a legendary career for one of the best and most creative minds in pro wrestling. Number 10. Strangling George Wells with a snake. In 1986, Jake the Snake Roberts was already appearing on World Wrestling Federation television, but WrestleMania 2 was the big introduction of his signature post-match ritual of placing his snake Damien on a downed opponent. His unlucky victim was ex-football player and jobber to the stars George Wells. Roberts quickly won the match and let the snake wrap itself around his opponent's unconscious body, causing foam to erupt from Wells' mouth. Number 9. Concussing Ricky Steamboat. Roberts' first high-profile feud was with the martial arts-themed babyface Ricky the Dragon Steamboat post WrestleMania 2. It began on an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, with Roberts delivering a DDT to Steamboat onto exposed concrete in front of the Dragon's wife, a move that accidentally gave Steamboat a for-real concussion. Number 8. DDTing Hulk Hogan. Eventually, the WWF would realise that Jake Roberts had charisma and could talk, so naturally they gave him wrestling's favourite trope, a talk show segment. His was called the Snake Pit, and one time he invited the top star, the immortal Hulk Hogan, onto the show and DDT'd the Hulkster onto the floor. Now, the attack was supposed to set up a big feud between the two, but when fans on the house show circuit started cheering for Roberts over Hogan, the whole angle was scrapped. Number 7. Giving Andre the Giant a heart attack. Jake Roberts' popularity ended up resulting in a face turn in the late 1980s and saw his engagement in feuds with hateable wrestlers like Honky Tonk Man and Rick Rude. In 1989, he was feuding with Andre the Giant in the lead up to WrestleMania 5 and found out that the Giant had a fear of snakes. Roberts would decide to exploit that revelation by taunting the legendary big man with a serpent and giving the Giant a kayfabe heart attack. He would even use the snake to get Andre to eliminate himself from the Royal Rumble. Number 6. Torturing the Ultimate Warrior. In 1991, the Ultimate Warrior had gotten so spooked by the Undertaker that he sought out the help of Jake Roberts in overcoming his fear, as Roberts always talked about being connected with darkness and evil. What would ensue was months of vignettes that involved some light torture like locking Warrior in a casket and making Warrior dig a ditch and then burying him in it. The pièce de résistance, however, involved Roberts locking Warrior in a basement full of snakes and tricking him into getting bitten by a cobra, whilst the Undertaker laid in wait. It was a shocking heel turn for Roberts, but there would be no payoff to the feud as the Ultimate Warrior would soon get fired. Number 5. Crashing Macho Man's wedding. When it comes to wrestling, it's always a bad idea to have any sort of on-screen celebration. Take for example Macho Man Randy Savage having his wedding reception with Miss Elizabeth on WWF television that ended up in Liz opening a wedding gift containing a snake, which will be followed up by Jake Roberts and his new pal The Undertaker doing a run-in on the wedding and terrorizing Miss Elizabeth with a snake, setting up a new feud between Savage and Roberts. Number 4. Trying to kill Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage could not fight Jake Roberts because Savage lost a retirement match at WrestleMania 7. But that wouldn't stop Roberts from harassing Savage with lots of incredibly mean promos, followed by an incident where Roberts attacked Savage, tied him to the ring ropes, and made his pet cobra bite Savage. In real life, the cobra was devenomized, but wouldn't let go of Savage's arm. As a result of the attack, Savage was reinstated as an active in-ring competitor. Number 3. Slapping Miss Elizabeth. Jake Roberts and Randy Savage would go on to have a big pay-per-view match at This Tuesday in Texas, which Savage would ultimately win. But post-match, Roberts would escalate by attacking Savage and preparing his snake to kill Macho. Miss Elizabeth would then try to intervene, with Roberts asking her to beg for her husband's life, which led to Jake doing something that WWE wouldn't dare sign off on today. Roberts would pick up Miss Elizabeth by the hair and slap her. Number 2. Trying to murder Miss Elizabeth. Savage and Roberts' feud continued to a match at Saturday Night's Main Event, again resulting in defeat for Roberts. This time he was an even worse sport, going backstage and grabbing a steel chair, lying in wait to attack either Macho or Miss Elizabeth. It ended up being Miss Elizabeth who was unfortunate to go through the curtains first, being in danger of having her head knocked clean off her body by a crazed reptile enthusiast. But Undertaker grabbed the chair just in time and distracted Roberts enough for Macho to attack him with a different chair. Number 1. Attacking the Undertaker and Paul Bearer. In the aftermath of the aforementioned chair incident, Roberts got distracted from his seething hatred for Macho Man and decided to confront the Undertaker and Paul Bearer on their talk show, The Funeral Parlor. When Jake demanded answers as to why Undertaker interfered with his evil plans, Roberts was basically told to buzz off. In response, he DDT'd Paul Bearer and slammed a casket shut onto Undertaker's hands before attacking him with a steel chair. This would culminate with a match at WrestleMania 8, where Roberts would be the second opponent to lose in Undertaker's 21-match WrestleMania winning streak.